Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. We are back, and we are in the crypt tonight.
Indeed.
Aaron and I are here.
Back again.
To guide you through this evening. We just went down yet another music fucking wormhole like we did last time, but we're going to try to stay on topic like we didn't do last time, last week. We are here tonight to talk about your show. Your show, which took place last Thursday? Yeah, it was last Thursday, July 25th. Well, I don't know when this will come out. So July 25th is when it took place. Thursday, July 25th at Max Bar in Lansing, Michigan, with Carnis Immortalis, the Greenleafs. You guys, Bog Wraith, in direct support of the mighty Recorruptor. And yeah, that's what we're here to talk about tonight. So let's get it started. How do you want to do this? How you want to start at Carnis Immortalis? You want to just dive into everything?
Well, I guess I'll start off saying that, that was probably, in terms of shows that we've had this year, because there hasn't been many of them, admittedly.
This is number 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in terms of that, I'd say between the last show that we had at Sanctuary with Boreworm and the Breathing Process.
Well, this year you've had 2 shows at the Sanctuary in Detroit.
Yeah.
And Hamtramck, Detroit, and one show just this past recently on July 25th at Max Bar in Lansing. So those are the 3 shows. Yeah. Go on.
And oddly enough, all 3 of them were with Carnis Immortalis, which is cool.
Yeah.
But this time was actually, and I guess we'll start there. This was the first time that I actually took the chance and actually pay attention to them, watch them and stuff and listen to them. They're really solid, really good. There was a lot of stuff that I heard that was just a lot of really cool guitar work and stuff, and a lot of cool the vocals and stuff, the back and forth between the bassist and their main singer. It was cool. Mm-hmm. They did just a badass Slayer cover.
That's what I wanted to talk about. Yeah. They invited Clint from Recorruptor, the lead vocalist on Recorruptor, to come up on stage and do what? Angel of Death, I believe? Yeah. They did a cover of Angel of Death by Slayer. That was fucking... For the opening band of the night, for them to do that was wonderful. Yeah. Wonderful for everybody because they nailed it.
Yeah. Oh, man, it was sick.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And I'm mad I didn't get a video of it, quite frankly. And yeah, it really got the place fucking moving like that. Yeah. Oh, that was fantastic.
Yeah, and they're just that whole energy kind of carried with the rest of their set.
Yes, the rest of the night. I would say. Yeah. They set a tone with that one.
Yeah, and it was just cool to actually, take the chance, because before I think we were either on before them or just after them, so it was all taking time to set up and everything at the last couple of shows, and there was just a lot kind of going on and stuff. So this one, we were third up for the night, and so I was everything's kind of in and stuff, I'm gonna actually take the time and pay attention to other bands and stuff that we're playing with and everything. It's it's not that I didn't actually listen to them before, because I had they put out, I think they put out I'm sorry. I'm
pretty sure they have an album EP thing out. Carnis Immortalis of Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah, so they have a full album and I believe an EP. Looks like. Yeah. A couple of singles.
Yeah. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram.
I think the one that stuck out to me. Yeah, they got all that stuff. Mm-hmm. We've tagged them in everything, mm-hmm. So you're bound to see it. And they've been doing a bunch of shows and been around for quite a while. Mm-hmm. But yeah, they played and the only reason I'm actually remembering what it was called is because it was a single. But they played a song called "My Will Be Done." So good,
hell yeah,
it was just sick. I don't know, I should have liked that one.
Hell yeah,
that one and whatever the last one was. I don't remember what the name of it was, but so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then
they killed it. I thought they did an excellent job, especially in that sort of a slot. When you're the first band up for the night, it's always a hard slot, and I thought they did an excellent job. It's the second time I've seen them that I know of. Maybe I saw them at a Metal Fest or something like that, but yeah, I thought they absolutely fucking killed it, and yeah, they're definitely one to watch out for. They're on the move. They got shows up the asshole. So
Yeah.
check out Carnis Immortalis for sure.
Yeah, definitely seems like they're making some moves. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
cool to see.
Very cool.
So the next band from the only out of state band,
The Green Leaves.
yeah, which was a lot heavier than I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm. They were very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very, very like slam heavy.
Yeah.
A lot of like just nasty breakdowns and like just vocals and the whole thing. It was just, I don't know, it was just really heavy.
Yeah. I thought, they were. I don't. Were they at any? I don't think they were at any of your other shows, were they?
No, it was their first time in Michigan, I believe.
Michigan
well,
at all?
I'm not sure if it was. Sorry,
I know it was their first time in Lansing.
Yeah, that was what I meant to say.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, when most bands that aren't from Lansing play in Lansing, it's their first time in Lansing. In fairness, but yeah, I know what you're saying like that. But I thought, again, it's a hard slot, but I thought they like the whole night. From the time Carnis Immortalis went on, there were a lot of people there, and they definitely carried the energy for sure. They did a great job.
Yeah,
I thought the Green Leaves did a very good job.
Originally, yeah, looks like they're from Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Yeah.
Which is, well, that's not too far.
Just over the border.
Yeah,
It's not far.
So yeah. But yeah, originally, because I was looking up their Facebook before the show and everything, because I kind of like to know who I'm playing with and everything, kind of like kind of listen to them if I can. But like the genre that they had written down was slambient, which is pretty accurate thinking about it now. Like they had a lot of like effects and a lot of like cool kind of like backing stuff going on
All right.
throughout everything. So I think it fits pretty well. But like the thing that I was kind of interested in is there's only 2 members listed. And from my understanding is it was pretty much just like an internet band for a while.
Okay.
I wish I had more information. I didn't really actually get a chance to talk to any of them.
Yeah, there are definitely more than 2 guys on that stage.
Yeah,
so.
it looks like there's 5 of them.
Yeah.
From the listing or whatever. So from the picture at least. And from looking at their Facebook, they are playing Metal Fest. So anybody that's going to Metal Fest,
oh shit!
definitely check that band out.
Oh shit! Michigan Metal Fest, August 3rd, Battle Creek Arena or Layla Auditorium, not in Battle Creek,
in Battle
not Battle
Creek.
Creek Arena. I don't know why I said that. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, they were cool. It was something different. It was definitely like, I mean, it's definitely a good mix of everything. At this one, more so like slam and like heavier stuff.
Yeah,
which is cool. A lot of like technical. A lot of
So then, I thought they were fantastic, and I guess all things considered, yeah, there was a bit of technical and everything like that. Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
Yeah.
But then next up.
Yeah, so, yeah. I don't know if you wanted me to carry that on or whatever, but...
Well, I want you to tell me how you feel your set went.
It was fun.
The Swamp Beasts. The hail from Lansing, fucking Michigan.
It was fun to me. Like, it was, I mean... For being one of the only local show that we've had this year, and to be playing it with not only with Carnis, who we've played with before, but also with Recorruptor, who we haven't played with since Metal Fest last year, which is crazy because I thought we'd played one with them before.
Yeah.
But yeah, just I don't know. Like as a whole, like the whole night and the whole package and everything, it was, I don't know, it was a lot of fun. It was probably the most fun that I've had at like any show that we've played in a minute, except for maybe like I said, like it top. I mean, I feel like to me it kind of tops the last one just because there wasn't a whole lot of like stress or a whole lot of like stuff to worry about. It was just kind of like, let's just go and like
hometown show.
Yeah, let's just go and like have fun and just, you know, hang out for a while and stuff. So it's kind of what we did. But as far as like the set and everything, like we played some old ones, man.
Yeah,
like,
you did. Yeah, you did the deep cuts that night.
We played and I mean, everybody that's kind of been following like our YouTube and our Facebook and stuff knows that we've been posting about a lot of like 2.0 versions of songs off Viscera. I guess if that's what you call it, you know. I don't know, but like we put Dream Eater back in the list, which was a little rough, but you know, it was cool. It was fun song. That was the one that I don't know if, because like we played it for a good while. I'd say we played it at the very first show that we played, which was, I don't remember where I was at. I'm not gonna try to act like I remember. It was somewhere in Michigan, though. I know that. We played it at the Throwdown, and then after that, I kind of think we just kind of phased it out because we were working with a lot of stuff from Meyer, and then like the newer album.
Yeah.
So it was fun to bring that one back, and then the big interesting one was we played Vials of Wrath.
Oh,
which we haven't. It was the slower jam in the middle of the set, which was interesting because like we'd practiced it a couple of times and then like, you know, talked about the fact that like we wanted to add it to the set and everything, and then like a few practices before that we started playing, or at least I did with a click track, and there's that it's that one, and then there's a couple of other ones that I felt like were necessary for that, and I was going to do the whole set, but like it was tough to go back and forth, and that's why like during the set I was kind of like back and forth between like trying to, you know, mess with my phone or whatever. It was because I was keeping the click on like the phone and everything. It's kind of inconvenient. If I would have had like one thing changed, I would have brought, and I have like a decent, you know, recording setup or whatever. As far as like, you know, when I'm like at home just kind of jamming and stuff, like I usually have like my laptop and then it's set up to a bigger like board and stuff, kind of running through everything, like a small mixer. But for this one and for just, you know, for a lot of our, well, all of our practices, I'd say I just had the module for the click, and then the module for the triggers, and then like just recently started adding to the click of it. And so I was kind of it was interesting, but it definitely kept things, like it kept a decent pace with everything. But for some reason, like Vials was the only song that like I kind of like flubbed a little bit, and I ended early. But it was because I like couldn't really hear what was going on, and I thought that we were all on the same page. And like, I mean, nobody else really noticed except for like the people that like knew the song and stuff. It was just kind of a weird like pause because like it was one of those weird like panic moments where you start like where you stop and you expect everyone else to, and like you know how the song goes in your head, but when you stop and nobody else does, you're like,
what did I do?
So, but like, I don't know, we started and we ended it at the same time, same points, got back on track with it, so that's all that matters really. But like, I don't know, like as a whole, man, like it was just fun. Like it was just cool to like, I don't know, it was just a good vibe the whole night and everything.
Yeah, it really was.
I mean, I don't know, not to get too deep into it, I guess, but like there was a lot as far as like how I was feeling at the time going into it and stuff. There was a lot of like personal stuff happening, and like just to be able to do that and like, you know, be in that kind of environment and like be able to play for longer than like 20 minutes or whatever and have like a decent slot and just be able to give, you know, whoever was there, you know, seeing us, whether they were there for us or not, just to be able to kind of like, you know, present that to them and have it be like this thing that I could just like get rid of it all, because that's really what it felt like to me. As in, like afterwards, like I don't know, I was kind of like more, I mean, it's hard to kind of breathe a little bit when you got, you know, all the stuff you got to take care of or whatever. But like, I don't know, I just felt like despite, you know, all the little like things here and there, like to me it was very well like much needed, and so I felt quite a bit better about it, you know. So
cathartic.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And it probably helped, especially there being just literally like because I showed up what would have been right at doors. Doors were at, I think 7. Yeah, I think doors were at 7. And I showed up then, and there were a small handful of people already there. Well, actually, no, there's a decent amount of people already there because the actual parking lot was already pretty full at that point.
Yeah.
So at doors time, there's already a lot of people there, and from the moment I arrived, nothing but like everybody's just here to have a good fucking time on a Thursday goddamn night on this beautiful summer Michigan Thursday night. It was fantastic.
Yeah, and
it was beautiful out.
I think like the initial feeling of it, admittedly, was, I mean, not to like downplay it or whatever, but like it's hard to compete when Summer Slaughter is going on in your state at the same day.
No. That's something we should mention. Is literally, so this was the Summer Slamathon taking place at Max Bar in Lansing, Michigan. As far as I know, I could be wrong about this, but as far as I know, the biggest bands to have ever played there are Acacia Strain, 6 Feet Under, and Goat Whore.
And Cattle Decapitation.
Yeah. Okay. Those are the biggest bands to have ever played there, as far as I know. So I'd definitely say of the genre, probably like the top. At least of the genre.
Yeah. Well, I've seen, I don't know, because like, I mean, I don't know. From memory, at least, I don't know. Kind of go on.
My point is, this is not a big venue.
Right. Yeah.
This is a very, 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 very small venue.
Yeah.
Okay, very small. Take a look at the fucking videos on the Lost in the Dark podcast Instagram page in the memories section. Look at the Recorruptor and the Bog Wraith, two most recent ones. You'll get an idea of how small this place is.
If you've ever been to like the machine shop in Flint or anything, like it's smaller than that.
Way
like
smaller.
I'm having a hard time like figuring out what to compare it to as far as like venues that I know. Yeah. It's a bar with a stage on it.
Standard bar with a stage in it. Yeah.
If you remember Uli's House of Rock, it's barely.
No, yeah, that's such a deep. Only people that have lived in Lansing their whole lives are gonna know that cut. Jesus.
Well, you're
bringing us back.
I mean, there are a few people out there that remember that.
I hope they listen to this because that's what those people are who this podcast is for anyway. But yeah,
if you have any reference to that, barely. Probably maybe a little bigger than that, just from the layout
about
of it.
The same size, honestly. At the end of the day,
yeah.
It's basically a bar with a stage in it, so it does not get very many big bands. Okay, the same night that this show is happening, Summer fucking Slaughter is happening in Detroit, or no, it was in Pontiac at the Crowfoot, and who did that have? That had Cattle Decap on it, didn't it? Carnifex. Lots and lots.
One of the sickest lineups they've had for that in like the last year, I'd say.
Fantastic. I would have gone.
Couple of years. We were talking about it.
We would have both been there.
Yeah.
Had it not been for, not to say that your show got in the way of anything.
Yeah.
But we would have been there if we didn't have more important places to be. So, fucking.
The point
of it is that it was not an easy sell for you guys for tickets to sell to this when that's going on just 40 miles down the road, or whatever.
It was tough, but I mean, what I was kind of getting at was, despite having that and whatever, because I feel like there was maybe there's one other one that I was thinking of that people were talking about that was going on that day. Maybe not. I don't know. But like the general idea was that like, by the time it started and by the time everybody was there, like it just, I don't know, to me, like it just didn't matter. Like it was kind of one of those things that's like, would have been cool, but at the same time, like, I heard a bunch of different things about it. Like there was like, I don't know, there was a lot of like pretty much every other local band that was in the area or even close to that, like was like either opening it or was like, got on it
At Summer Slaughter?
Yeah. There was there was a point where there was like 2 or 3 different flyers for it going around on the internet.
Yeah.
With various different bands on it, and there wasn't like a full list or whatever, but I imagine it was like either double or like close to what the actual like bigger, I wouldn't say bigger, but like the more like signed bands, I guess, if you want to call it that. Like that they're, if that makes sense.
Okay.
In comparison, there was as many local openers, and I don't even know if that's the right term, but local bands as there were like bands that were supposed to be there to like as the full like touring package of it. I guess is the best way to say it.
Right.
So, but yeah, I mean, like overall, as far as that goes, like, I mean, it was tough, and a lot of people that we talked to, and that was the general consensus for it, was that everybody was like, is either they're busy or they were already had plans to go there and stuff, and so
no, but we're sitting here making it sound like there weren't a lot of people at your show. Like there were.
Oh yeah,
it was a great fucking turnout.
Yeah,
like for considering
definitely.
all of that.
Yeah,
you guys still had an insane fucking turnout for a Thursday night in Lansing, Michigan.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I'm not mad about it at all.
I know. I'm just saying, I'm bringing it. But yeah, that was fucking. I was pleasantly surprised at how many people were there. I was like, God damn.
Yeah.
Like, not as many as like Goat Horror, but still, like, there was a lot of fucking people there.
Yeah.
Like, the bar was full pretty much the whole night. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Goddamn.
It was. I mean, like, I don't know. And then, to top it all off, it was, I don't know, it was sick to see Recorruptor.
Then Recorruptor comes in. Now real quick, from an audience member perspective, I thought, I mean, what else am I going to say? I thought you guys were fucking incredible. Like, what else am I going to fucking say right now? I thought you guys killed it. Sounded amazing. I had I had the earplugs in, so I felt like I could hear more than normal. And yeah, Alex was really letting us have it that night. You were going off, like it was just fucking. Mike was going off. It was an all hands on deck situation. You guys were going fucking ape shit, and it was fantastic. I had a great time. No big deal or anything, but like I still haven't seen Monstrous live.
Well, nobody has. So
I know.
So
it's not like you guys release a big fucking single, promote the shit out of it. It's an amazing song, and then never play it.
Well, there's reasons for that, and I will defend that when I can. Because okay, well, I don't know. Do you want to finish talking about the show first?
No, I want to talk about this first.
Okay, well, I don't know. I will say right now that there is a good amount going on. We are at the moment about to take some time away. I mean, I say it, we haven't really played a show like as many shows as previous years or whatever, but.
Take some time away from live performances.
Yeah.
Make that clear.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to word what I'm thinking. And there's I guess in the easiest way that I can describe it, we're gonna be taking a lot more time to do we want to focus on content. We want to focus on not only just writing more music and figuring out what the next move is for how to release all of that and stuff, but we also want to try to connect with more people than just at shows. And so one of those things that we've been talking about, and that we've been seeing a lot of other bands, well, I mean, I guess not too many. Like there are like musicians that do streaming and that do that kind of thing. But there's not like full bands that like their sole focus is the streaming and is that whole aspect of it. As far as I'm talking about like Twitch, that kind of thing. The only and the only reason I bring it up is because there was a band that I didn't even know was still around that was doing this on Twitch when I was looking at it the other day. Psycho Stick.
No shit.
Yeah, dude, their show is great, by the way.
They have a show on Twitch?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It is ridiculous,
wow.
but it is everything that you expect from them, I guess. But like, I don't know. Point being, we want to make more of an attempt to cover some things that we've been meaning to in terms of, there's elements of our live show and of our overall performance that we want to get better, and there's things that we want to improve upon and stuff. And also we want to be able to broadcast to people that either aren't close enough to, like, on like Facebook and stuff, people that follow us that haven't been able to, like, either see us live or to be able to be in the States, I guess, to put it, I guess, simple enough, like that we have a good amount of reach in other places, and we have a lot of people that would like to see us that right now we just haven't had the chance to get out to and reach yet. And the other thing is that it's just there's a lot of like I said, I mean, I guess to kind of make more sense of it, I guess, like there's just things that we need to either physically, or there's things that we need to cover, and there's also stuff that we want to try to add and like work on. And so through all of that, and like I said, it's tough to explain all of this because I can't speak for everybody, and this is just I'm just trying to relay it in a way that's not gonna like say too much. And at this point, we haven't made an official like release about it. We haven't made a post about it, and I don't know how much I'm. I'm not trying to like beat around the bush or anything. I'm not trying to like.
I get it.
Basically, we're just.
You don't want to jump any guns.
Yeah, and like I hate to say something and have it not be true with everybody else. And, not that it's anything different, but that is basically the idea that we're trying to go for. We want to stream more so that we can get out to other people, and we want to just have more content for people to be able to see us with, so that eventually when we can like branch out to other bands, and so that when we are ready to do more shows and more things, we have that to back us up so that we can kind of go further with it, I guess, is the main point I'm trying to make.
Okay.
So with that, hopefully there, we just like the set list is going to change. I will say that. How and with what, it is still up for discussion. It is still like we haven't even really got that far, to be honest with you.
Not gonna lie. For a minute there, I was like, all I asked was why you didn't play monsters.
Well, that was the long way.
Okay.
Honestly,
so when it sounds, the way I interpret what you just said is the reason for that is because you guys do not yet have the ability to present it live the way you want it to be presented live, and you are about to essentially go back into the lab, be working, but also give your followers and your fans a look into that work via streaming, and possibly, hopefully, when you come back, Monstrous will be something on the set list because you'll be at a point where you can present it live the way you want it to be presented. Can I get that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a way better way to explain it. But yeah, like, I mean, that's initially the idea, because we've always, as long as we've been a band, and as long as we've been doing this with this whole aesthetic, and I'm sure I've talked about it before, like, we've always had the idea of presenting more of like an experience to people, and to
we have talked about this on the podcast before. Yeah.
I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure there's been a couple of them that I've that I've mentioned that on, but just to kind of reiterate it. And you know, there are definitely things as far as the visual side that I want to kind of bring to the table, because there's a lot of things going on up here that I want to like.
Man, I wish you would come with me to that Alice Cooper show, because I tell you what, like,
well, and it's,
you want to talk about visuals, holy fucking shit, he still got them all.
Yeah, it's things like that, and it's shows like that that make me, you know, I mean, you think, I mean, set aside, you know, where we're at right now, like just think about it in the scope of like the biggest bands you've ever seen, like the best shows you've ever seen and stuff, whether that's, and that could vary from everybody, you know. I've seen some of the best shows where it's just the band on stage and it's raw and it's just real and it's the most, you know, it's
that's the beautiful thing about metal, is you can see the best show of your life in a fucking basement with nothing.
Yeah.
But when it gets big, you go to see a production. Now we're talking Slipknot. Now we're talking Iron Maiden. Now we're talking fucking Judas Priest. Fucking, you know, AC/DC. Oh my God, their production.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a big production, talk about fucking Trans-Siberian Orchestra. I don't know anymore because I haven't seen them in over 10 years, but when I saw them over 10 years ago, Korn. Not a big fan of Korn personally, but I did see a Family Values tour once, and they had a very impressive production. They had an incredible light show.
Yeah.
Alice Cooper, Rob Zombie.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? These are giants.
Yeah.
These are Marilyn Manson. These are Slayer. These are Metallica. These are giants, like, that have massive production.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
And, you know, like, if you've read any of the lyrics and if you've been keeping up with the stories that, you know, that we've written through the songs, you know, and through each album and stuff, everything, like, it's they're tied together, but they're loosely, you know, they're the same. It's, I always have a hard time explaining it because I don't write the bulk of lyrics, but there's one theme and there's lyrics that go and that coincide with it. And, you know, with everything from Viscera to Meyer to Omen and stuff. So now
it's the, what do we want to coin it? It's the Bog verse, it's the Wraith verse, it's the Marshlands verse, it's the something verse. They're all different different albums taking place in the same universe.
Yeah.
I dig the fuck out of that.
And so with that, you know, even the stuff that we've been writing as far, you know, the lyrics and everything, like, it's all done within, you know, concepts. It's all done with a certain theme or a certain idea in mind.
Yeah.
Like you said, I don't write all the lyrics. I just, you know, add certain things to it. And a lot of times, like, you know, with the last, I think with Omen, I helped out with a couple of songs, but for the most part, it's all just Alex. You know, it's all Alex. And, you know, I mean, we've all this has been, as far as, like, you know, contributing to like the lyrics and stuff, that was kind of the thing that came first with a lot of this new stuff. And then we've been writing ideas around that, which is pretty interesting because a lot of the, I mean, even, like, you know, a lot of the lyrics and stuff have had a feeling to them. And, like, you know, when you read something and you just kind of, like, you can already hear it in your head even though there's no music with it.
Yeah. Yeah,
like, it's kind of like that stuff. And so it's kind of, you know, it's just interesting to me how different all of these, like, songs are. And, like, a lot of them aren't even like, you know, I'm sitting here, like, saying this or whatever, but, like, we have a good amount of songs that we've been working on.
And these are about songs that have not been released yet, is what you're talking about right now.
Like, early demos and stuff that we've been working on. And so it's, like, even doing it this way as opposed to how everything else, I mean, the other, you know, the earlier songs and the earlier, you know, things like that, and, like, the past releases have all been pretty organic as far as how the songs have come about and as far as how, you know, everything has, you know, sort of just happened, I guess. And this one seems, but it's all been, like, thought out. You know, there's all, like, you know, there's been just a goal in mind for it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that comes across with, with the lyrics and with the way the music sounds and with just kind of everything that's come with it. And like, to me, I've always, and, we've talked about it as far as the live show, like, we don't feel like we can fully bring it to life the way that we want to just yet because of the limitations and because of, trying to focus on doing too many things at once.
Yeah.
Because we never really started off as a live band. It was all just kind of like, let's write a handful of songs, we're sick, and then we started playing shows, and it was just kind of like that. But now we're kind of at a point where we want to be able to do more of that, but we also want to, the point that you brought up was, we want to be able to just, present it the way that we're thinking of, to give more of a, more of an experience, I guess.
Have more of an impact too.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I fucking look forward to that, and I'm gonna have to get a Twitch and whatever else I need to follow the progress and see what you guys are doing, because that's I mean, on the one hand, I'm bummed I'm not gonna be able to see any Bog Wraith shows for the foreseeable future at the moment.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I think if you guys play this the way you're saying you're gonna play it, then it could come out really well. I'd like to. I hope to be able to follow. I want to see some stuff online, some of that content. You know what I mean? That'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, we, if you remember, and I'm sure the people following us kind of remember, we put out this thing, this post a while back, that was about releasing more music and doing not so much like the full length albums, but doing more either like singles or kind of like one-off songs, and then like just to kind of keep that stream of music going, instead of releasing just a straight like full length, working on it all this time and then just pushing it all out. Like we want to have a consistent volume and a consistent stream of music and of things to present, to kind of keep it fresh and to kind of keep things moving and stuff, and also make it feel like there's still something for for you to pay attention to and for you to like listen to, because that's something that we write a ton as far as like ideas and things like that, and it's always tough trying to fit. I mean, every band knows this, it's always tough writing songs and then either not having anywhere to put them, or not sure if it should be on the next album, or if we should release this as like a one-off thing, even though it doesn't really have anything to do with with like the concept of like what we were going for, like with previous stuff. So I mean, that's kind of the idea.
Sounds like a good way to fucking release that kind of shit.
Yeah. And a lot of people, I mean, I guess not a lot of people, but there were some that were kind of thinking that like we just weren't going to release anything at all, like up until or just like we were just like only going to be releasing like singles, and we weren't going to be writing like full albums or like full EPs and stuff. Like that's not it. We just want to be able to have more to show.
Trying to carve out a different path.
Yeah. And like I guess the freedom of it, of being able to write stuff that doesn't necessarily fit the mold of everything else, is that it just makes it interesting when you're writing stuff, and when you're like, I don't know if this is gonna fit with everything else, but it sounds cool, and we all like it and stuff, and maybe it'll we'll add to it, and it'll we'll put it out this way, or we'll do this. But there's always, I feel like, as long as we're writing stuff, and as always as long as there's always that common goal in mind of presenting a concept to people, that there's always going to be more of a need to do like shorter EPs and shorter things like that, because it's easier to get that sole idea out, instead of like I said, using a full album and taking a whole year to do it and everything. Like it's just so.
And I mean, it's also a good way to like get something, like to be able to like work on and write and play something a little different without having to go as far as starting a side project.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You guys can kind of like let out your other influences and stuff like that through this method, while like that like imagine if someone like Cannibal Corpse did this and like every once in a while released something that wasn't quite death metal.
Yeah.
You know, they let something else out as musicians and individuals. It's still fucking heavier and crazy as shit, but it's not quite something that you'd normally find on a Cannibal Corpse album. You know what I mean? This is another avenue to be able to express yourself and be able to let other sides out, like we talked about a little bit on the last episode with when you got a band like Lamb of God with Randy doing the Stick to Your Gun Side project and Mark Morton releasing Anesthetic. And you see like Lamb of God going through this kind of like weird evolution, and it's kind of because like not weird, but going through its evolution. And I always felt like it was because their outside influences, they didn't have anywhere to put that other than Lamb of God. So it came out in Lamb of God. Now they have other places to put that. So I feel like maybe this next album will be the most Lamb of God album we've had since like Wrath or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that the most recent two aren't. They are definitely took some more chances than previous ones, though, for sure.
Yeah.
You know?
They've all got a place in their catalog and stuff.
Absolutely. And they're all fantastic. But
yeah.
So I get it, and I think that's why, I want to. I look forward to this content, and I hope there's a lot of it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, it was definitely, it's been a big topic of conversation as far as like what the next plan is and stuff, and obviously with all of this, I'm sure we'll have something to post as far as like explaining the whole situation a little better if you haven't heard this, or if you're just hearing this or whatever. But that is the general idea of the next. I don't want to put a date on it as far as like when it's gonna be. It's just gonna we've got plans, and we're trying to like stick to them, and I feel like it's all gonna be for the better. And I'm pretty excited about where things are headed.
And hey, at the end of the day, you always have this.
Yeah.
And yeah, I will. No matter how hard you might fucking try, I will never let you go that long without being on here. So I work my ass off to get the people on here that I get on here, and I make sure of it. So yeah, this will always be a platform for you to come and talk to people about that. And also, I know you just made the post. Feel free to post any episode of this you want anywhere you want at all. So to let the people know, give people, this is just another at the end of the day, this is just another platform for you guys.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, the rest of Bog Wraith and the rest of Recorruptor and any member of any band listening knows they should know, especially the ones that have met me, they are welcome. Open door policy on this podcast. Anytime you want to come on, please reach out on Facebook, Instagram, or lostinthedarkpodcast@gmail.com. But yeah, at the end of the day, the more platforms, the better, Yeah. So, and this is just another way for you to reach out and stuff like that. And so I definitely look forward to that, and I hope there's a good amount of content coming, because I think that at least if there was something, if you guys had something to post, at least like a week or something like that, I think that would be something that you could. Especially if it was on some kind of a schedule, you could get people looking forward to it. And then, that's just a post, though. That doesn't count live streams. Practice a few times a week, live stream every single one of them. You know what I mean? That's nothing but content that you can then later post on YouTube and this and that.
Well, and a lot of, as far as the idea of streaming and of doing that whole thing is, I feel like a lot of us are pretty involved in the Twitch thing and in watching pretty closely to what other bands that we're inspired by and we're influenced by, like what they're doing and what's like what works for them as far as getting content out and is keeping things like constant and stuff. And I feel like it's at least from a personal standpoint and perspective on it, it's kind of nice to be able to step back from trying to be the live band and trying to do that while also trying to build as far as, writing and in terms of, just, putting out more of a presence online. It's, like I said, this, just from my personal standpoint, it's been a long time. And I was thinking about this the other day. It's been a long time since I've been able to just step back and just be a fan of what's going on, be a fan of the music instead of, like what is this band doing? Oh, I should be doing that, or I should be doing this, but instead, like, not being sure or whatever. Like, this is, I feel like, and we've talked about it as far as, where we're all at with everything. And that's a big thing for me, is figuring out like what is gonna work for me, and like how I want to present, my, like my drum videos, and like just how I want to do all that, stuff. Because I've had, brought it up I don't know how many times. I'm sure the people that talk to me are kind of like sick of me, like, saying like, kind of being wishy-washy about it or whatever. But it's all within, within reason of figuring out like what I'm comfortable with, and like what's gonna work for me, and like what I want to do, and like how I want to present everything. And I feel like stepping back and just being a fan of the music and the genre, and trying to remind myself of why I got into doing this in the first place. And
fair enough.
I've been looking back at a lot. I mean, we just rewatched one, but I've been looking back at a lot of, like my bunch of old like videos and stuff that I found, and just older like songs that I've written and everything, and just kind of like, understanding that at some point I, this was my shit, this is what I wanted to do. And like, it's trying to go back to, to that feeling, to that vibe and stuff, but also continuing on and making it better, because there's always been things that I wanted to do, and there's things that that I've, not to downplay, the accomplishments and stuff, and the things that I have been able to do, but I've also, I've understood that, there's been a lot of learning and a lot of things that have gone on with, since then. And, I've learned a lot, and I'm trying to change, what I've been doing wrong, I guess, and not necessarily wrong, but just what I haven't been doing, and try to figure out like what works for me and everything. So,
you know what it sounds like to me? It sounds like you're taking the advice of the immortal words of one Mr. Albert Sode, portrayed by the wonderful Harvey Presnell in the Jeff Daniels film Escanaba in the Moonlight, where he says, "If you don't know where to start, go back to the beginning."
Go back to
Boom. Sage advice that I follow on a daily fucking basis. If you're stuck in a rut, if you feel like you don't know where to go, then go back to the beginning. Refigure out how you got here and why you got here, and what were the things that you wanted that led you down that path, and get reinvigorated by those things if you feel burnt out.
But also it's
and lost.
Yeah.
In the dark.
It's been figuring that out, but it's also been, because everything, I don't know, not sound too hippy dippy or whatever, but everything as far as like, this day and age, things move so quickly, and you can't really, I mean, it's foolish to kind of rest on, past achievements for any longer than like, a couple of days, I guess, at this point. But like, I feel like maybe that's not super accurate, but like to dwell on something for so, positives.
Don't
and
be
stuff. Stuck
in the past.
Yeah. That's more or less what I was trying to mutter out, I guess. But like, it's taken me a while to understand that sometimes I just need to like slow down and realize like how much I've been able to accomplish. And when I feel like I can't do anything, like there was a point where I didn't think that I was ever going to, and this is true, this is fully true, like there was a point where and it was recently that I had just learned how to like program like triggers and stuff, for example.
Boom.
Drum triggers.
Boom.
For the longest time I fought it. I was like, I either don't want to do this because A, B, and C, or, you know, I don't understand it, I guess. And like, it wasn't until recently that, you know, I took the time to actually like learn it and stuff and kind of figure it out. And now, like, it's something that not only am I glad that like I understand how to do, but I'm also glad that I took that step because it's made me, you know, just more efficient, I guess.
It's broadened your abilities on the drum kit.
Yeah.
Whether you use them or not, the process of learning how to use them has given you a better understanding of the instrument that you play.
Yeah.
I'm fucking in the couple months ago picked the fucking guitar back up and been going crazy on it. I've learned more about the guitar in the past few months than I ever learned when for the years when I first started playing it. Just because I have like just this refurbished dry, you know what I mean? And like there's so much I realize I have a better understand. I get things about it now easier and better and fucking understand what this and that, you know, all the different parts and all this shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you don't know where to start, go back to the beginning. I started playing guitar and then got into heavy music. Well, I think I was already into like AC/DC and I wanted to play guitar because of AC/DC, and then yeah. But another one of the things I used to love to do all the time was fucking disc golf. I haven't played disc golf in years, and you and I just went disc golf, and I went again today. Like, it's just one of those things where it's like it gets me back in that mindset.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that point where I feel like I want to be, and helps me push through and continue to and do this podcast, for example, and like all kinds of other stuff. So
and yeah, just, you know, recognizing that there are things that you have accomplished that like you hardly look at. Like you've played, I've played with tons of like my favorite bands and stuff, but
you played live shows in Detroit. That's like a dream of mine.
Yeah, it was of mine for a long time.
Yeah. You know what? You are in terms of friends that I've ever invited to the place that I live, you are the only one that has ever played live in Detroit. So
that's crazy.
That's not most people. Most people never get to do that.
Yeah.
Most people in their life never ever going to do that.
And
you've done it more than once.
Sometimes and like, we've even, played out of state and stuff. We did when this band started, like gotten to meet some, people that I've been inspired by and kind of looked up to or whatever. And
you've met fucking Fit for an Autopsy.
Yeah.
Played with
them. Yeah. And it's so easy to kind of overlook, things like that when you're so like focused on what's the next thing or what's, and that's kind of what I was talking about, being a fan again and trying to enjoy these things for what they are instead of, thinking that it's like life or death if I don't do this, you know what I mean? Like,
and in a big bad way, that's what, I did that too. I went through that too. I was so focused on other things, I forgot about like just being in love with the things I'm in love with. And one of the things that really helped me in that was discovering all the Kevin Smith podcasts, especially Jay and Silent Bob Get Old and Fat Man on Batman, but especially Fat Man on Batman, because that's where he just, especially the early episodes, where he just goes off about the things that he loves like that. And I'm just sitting here listening to them. I love the things he's talking about 9 times out of 10, 2 things like comics, Batman, Marvel, whatever. But I'm also sitting there going, that's how I feel about heavy metal and heavy music. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like a dual thing when I discovered that podcast, those podcasts, and then the rest of them, which eventually led to this one. And this one where, we do the fucking album reviews because why do we do the album reviews we do? Because these are our favorite bands. We're never going to give an album probably less than 3 out of, like, you know what I mean? It's almost pointless for us to do them, but we do them anyway because this is the shit we love and we just love talking about it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fucking sit here and do an album review and give it fucking a 1 out of 5 fucking whatevers. No. Like, no, I'm gonna present the shit that I love. You're not gonna hear about the shit that I hate 9 times out of 10.
No.
You know what I mean? Like I'm just a fan here. You know what I mean? That's what this is. That's what the Crypt is. That's what this Lost the Dark podcast. It's just a fan zone. You know what I mean? Like I love this shit. So I started a podcast to talk about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's fucking at the end of the day what it is.
I mean, if there is a bad album from any of these, like, you know, it happens. But I feel like
there might be something we don't like as much as this or that, or something we're disappointed by, and I'm willing to talk about that.
Yeah.
But I'm also going to put it through the frame of I fucking love these people. And even if I don't necessarily like what they did here, that doesn't mean, like, I'll even go as far to say that doesn't mean it's bad. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. It's just, it's not for me, you know?
It's not for me. Yeah.
I guess that's the easiest way. Yeah.
That's okay. Like, for people out there who like painters, you like every single one of their No. Actors, you like every single one of them? No, you don't. They, you know what I mean? Like, everybody has something that wasn't for you, that you feel it didn't connect with you for this or that reason. But honestly, shit, I mean, this year, such an amazing year for albums so far. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But before we lose it, let's make sure that I definitely want to talk about that set that Recorruptor played, because my God.
Yeah.
My fucking God. First of all, once again, be sure to follow them on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and all of the above. If you do follow them and you have been watching their stories and stuff like that, you know that they have been recording a new album. Well, guess what? Aaron and I here got to be some of the first of probably 100 people on Earth outside of them that got to hear 2 of those new songs live.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool. It was really cool.
Oh, they had such a great set, dude. They were ready. They brought the the lightning and the thunder. Like, oh.
They always put on a really good show.
Really do. They're outrageously talented, and they have so much energy live. You guys have just as much. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's you two together is an unbelievable package anytime it happens, and especially when it's like back to back. It's fucking like a nonstop fucking chaos brutality for a straight hour and a half or whatever. Like, it's fucking. Oh my God, it's outstanding. I love it when you guys play together.
It's always a good time. We always enjoy it.
And yeah, those 2 new songs that they played were fucking. I cannot wait to hear that new album.
Yeah.
Cannot fucking wait. I don't know. They didn't say anything about when it comes out, but I will say, just so everybody knows, that they do have 2 shows coming up. Saturday, September 14th at 6 p.m. At the Music Factory in Battle Creek, Michigan. Recorruptor, it looks like, will be headlining. Yep, Recorruptor and Forces will be co-headlining with special guest Throne, badass, Dead Nerves, Vestigial, Discontent, and Guardrail. Again, Saturday, September 14th at the Music Factory on Angle Street in Battle Creek, Michigan. Doors at 6, show at 6:30, $10 in advance, $15 at the door.
Surely go to that.
Be there. It's going to be fucking ridiculous. Once again, Recorruptor, honestly, in terms of what you call it, local band for us, one of the best going right now by far, hands down, far and away. Like, they are really, really, really good live. And then, just 13 days later, Friday, September 27th, 5 p.m., The Sanctuary, Detroit, Michigan. They will be opening the Bloodletting North American Tour featuring Disentombed, Visceral Disgorge, Signs of the Swarm, Continuum, Organectomy, Mental Cruelty, and Recorruptor will be playing again Friday, September 27th at the Sanctuary on Kniff in Hamtramck, Michigan, Detroit. Doors are at $5, $18 in advance, all ages.
That's gonna be a really cool one too.
Both of those are gonna be outstanding shows. Absolutely off the fucking chain. Absolutely off the fucking chain. Both those are gonna be great shows for sure. And yeah, like I can't express it enough how fantastic the energy they bring live. If you don't fucking believe me, look at the goddamn videos I fucking took on fucking Instagram and the Instagram memories. Like, Jesus Christ.
Man.
Christ.
Yeah, definitely making some moves. I mean, they have been for a while. They've been big on the touring or not well. No, I guess in the volume of shows that they've played.
Yeah.
And in the bands that they've been able to open for, like it's really cool to see a band from this area that
they've opened for, didn't they open for Dahlia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cannibal Corpse.
We saw them open for fucking Cannibal Corpse. Yeah. Oh my god, that was amazing. That was they were the ones that I think blew out my eardrum.
Yeah, I remember you saying something about that.
So yeah, there you go, people. Wear your fucking earplugs when you're going to see Recorruptor, because they will tear you apart. Like, they are fucking outstanding, and I hope to have them on the podcast. I have been in talk. We have talked about it. I have been in contact with them about it. But then some things came up. They went back into the studio to finish the album and everything. So maybe we do like right around the time the album comes out or something like that, and maybe we'll do something like that. I don't know. Try to put something together. But be sure to check them out in Battle Creek on the September 14th and Detroit September 27th. I think I said something like that. Outstanding live.
I wish I would have caught or been able to catch a little bit more of their set, because I think I was there for when they started, and then like a song in, and then I dipped out for a minute, and I came back in, and then I caught the slower one. They had like a more like slower, like kind of ambient one, and then I caught the rest of the set after that. So I think I only missed like I don't know, like maybe like a song and a half, probably.
All right.
Because they do. I mean, man, they write some long ones.
Yeah, they do.
And I guess the next one is gonna be about the same, like 5-minute songs, 6-minute songs.
Hell yeah.
So it'll be cool to see what the changes and everything, and kind of like just what the whole feel of it is. I'm interested to see how it all.
I love Blood Ritual. That's what it's called, right? Blood Moon, yeah. And there's a song on it called Ritual, something like that. I don't know. But, yeah, their first album, Blood Moon, is fantastic. Check that out. Be sure to check that out. Bandcamp.
Facebook,
Instagram, YouTube. But, yeah, you want to, that's about all I got. You want to fucking wrap this one up, or you got anything else? What you got? Got anything?
Well, I feel like we kind of covered a majority of it between this one and the last. This is kind of a two-parter.
Yeah, this is kind of like the ending of the episode that was released last Monday. Yeah.
Gotta be honest, that was on me a little bit.
Well, no. That was entirely on the technology. That was entirely on the fact, like,
as far as like
regardless of how
it.
drunk we were, it still took me like 2 hours to get that shit started to the point where we even could have continued to record.
That's true. Yeah.
And it was, when it broke, it was like 2 a.m. So yeah, it was,
yeah. But having said that, that was the first time in a minute that I've been like that. Normally when we do this, I'm not like that. So,
well,
if I said it,
for the record, no one would have known had you didn't just say that right there. Like, no one would have ever known.
I don't know. I guess we could edit that out.
No, nothing gets edited anymore. But in any case, you did fine.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's the point. You did fine.
No, that was fun.
Yeah,
it was a good one.
It's a great episode.
Yeah.
because we just went off.
Yeah.
No topic, no nothing. We just were rolling into that episode. It's fantastic.
But as far as that goes, I don't think I have anything else to add.
All right. Well, yeah, I guess we'll wrap this one up. Be sure to follow us and all of the bands we mentioned tonight on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. But also follow us on all those things at Lost in the Dark Podcast, and also on Apple iTunes for us, and any other wherever else you get your fucking podcasts. Also, if you have any what did I say last time? I can't remember the other thing I said last time, but especially if you have any monster related, any paranormal related stories you'd like to share, reach out to us at Lost in the Dark Podcast at gmail.com. Sorry. Blah, blah, blah. Lost in the Dark Podcast at gmail.com. Be sure to reach out to us. We would love to hear from you. And yeah, if you want to see any of the videos of the show that we talked about tonight, be sure to check them out on the Instagram in the memories section at the top of the page there. There are some videos from both Bog Wraith and Recorruptor that are fantastic. And yeah, follow us, follow all of them on all the social media platforms, and you will not be sorry, I promise. But that's going to be it from us tonight. We hope you enjoyed the show. Raise your horns, bang your heads. I love you all to death. Good night.